Hi, I'm Ian and I make stuff. Welcome up to my home office workshop. Today what we're going to do is going to be a little bit different. What I did recently was challenge myself to make a scorpion mask from the new Mortal Kombat movie as quickly as possible. That said, from the beginning of the project to the end of the project in about a week. I failed to meet that timeline, but I did make the mask. So let's take a look at the time-lapse photography now, and I'll try to describe along what happened. Alright, let's see. Okay, so of course, first I started off with some paper patterns. I had some sketches I had done just before I started shooting this, and I'm trying to turn them into some parts. I only made some templates for the major parts, the main frame, the cheek plates, and that mouth plate, I guess you could call it. Of course, I then transferred it over to the EVA foam. I tried to use, I don't remember what size, but I think it was 4 mil. I don't think I have the smaller stuff. I think this is probably about 4 mil. After I've cut them out, of course, I'm just going to do a little bit of detailing on the edge, make them a little cleaner, sand down the edges a little bit, put everything together, make sure it all fits. Oh yeah, now I'm making some of the secondary parts, the little cheek plates that go down there, put it all together, see how it all fits, and then I can draw them out and cut them. I ended up cutting out those cheek plates twice because I accidentally forgot to mirror the second one. I cut that out because you don't need to see it being done twice. Alright, now we're back at the home shop. Yeah, we're just gluing it all together. I just scored it a little bit behind where I was going to glue it just because I wanted to put a little bit of texture behind where the teeth are going to go and behind where the cheeks are going to go. And also, probably in my head, I was also going to be adding some more texture for the contacts I'm meant to stick to. Putting on the cheek plates. I lifted up the little kind of nose plate thingies just so that I could overlap them on top of the other thing. And oh yeah, that's right. I used a little bit of CA glue there so I could seal down the seams a little bit better, so that when I later on want to heat form it, it wouldn't pop off the sides. I'm not sure that was entirely necessary. If I was patient with my contact cement, it probably wouldn't have made a big deal, and it probably would have stayed just fine. But it worked out, so I'm not complaining too much about it. Oh yeah, when I made the original template for the main face frame, I put these parts on. And I didn't end up liking them, so I cut them off and I made a new one, which is what I'm doing here. Just glued that on while I put on another that I guess you could call it chin bar. Oh yeah, this was a really interesting part here. I'm making the detailed knot work that goes right on the bottom of the chin here. That one was actually really fun. I had to try to figure out the design of the knot work and then transfer it onto the EVA foam, cut out the main part, and instead of actually doing all the knot work in individual pieces, I scored it in and I scored it in with the X-Acto knife and used the heat gun to raise out all those things. And as you can see, it actually works out really good. I like this technique quite a bit because you can do a lot of detailing and almost like sketching with a knife before hitting it with a heat gun. Speaking of heat gun, now I'm just trying to form the whole thing to the whole mask into a mask shape instead of something flat. Now that the nose pads are in and I'm actually drawing stuff in, it's good to actually bring stuff in. And oh yeah, that's right. This is the chin part here that I'm doing. Before I had that open here, but I didn't really like the way that I was just going to cut off that knot work that I spent so much time on. So I put a little extra plate on the bottom of the chin and domed it out with the heat gun. And here I'm sanding out the seams so that the transition's a little bit more smooth. What I'm going to end up doing is putting that chin knot work right here, right on that. And it's going to circle around the bottom there. I think it just looks really cool like that. I didn't want to waste that knot work. I did not want to throw away my knot. All right. While you simmer on that horrible pun. Okay, what I'm doing here now is just making that little bar that goes across the top here. I didn't really have a good idea for that one, so I tried to make a couple of templates out of paper when I was doing that. In the end, I just used the second. I just cut off the bottom of where I cut off the earlier like eye socket parts, and that did pretty well job because EVA foam is really forgiving with bending, so I cut it roughly to shape, and then as I tried to shape it to form, I used the heat gun to just bend it to my will. Here I glued it on, and I'm just scoring on a little bit more detailing into it. And now we're back at the shop at Pickering Woodworks. Yep, now we're going to be doing some painting, but first got to finish it up by sealing up the seams with the quick seal. I was between shifts of work at this time, so I was in a bit of a rush. If I'm honest, I really probably should have taken my time with this, sanded it a little bit better, smoothed things out a little bit better. It ended up it's pretty visible in the final product where that was. Okay, here we're just putting on the coat of, I think it's Plastidip or Flexidip. Yeah, Flexidip. I did 2 coats of that, and now I'm putting on a base layer of gold. It's just gold spray paint. I think I did 2 coats of this just to get just to get nooks and crannies. Oh yeah, here I was trying to weather it and just kind of hide some of that gold, just put it in the background a little bit, make it look worn through by adding a black wash to it. Just use some acrylic paint, some Mars Black with a bunch of water, and kind of dabbed it on in increasing levels just to get that. The idea was to have it look like it was cast out of bronze and then had a black paint applied to it that is slowly wearing off. Looks a little bit messy from right now, though. Oh yeah, now we're just going to dry brush on some of that gold to bring it closer to the end. Just do all the high raised parts. Dry brushing is great because it doesn't like seep in as much into the cracks that you don't want them in. Yeah, back piece. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. This is our final product. If I'm being honest, I think I kind of wasted a little bit of time with that first gold coat and the black wash. Black wash never really did go on the way I wanted it to. It was a lot more puddly, and I think I probably just put too much water in my wash, so it didn't really go on as evenly as I would like. So I ended up coating it and coating it and coating it. In the end, after doing all the dry brushing with the gold on here, I did a little bit more detailing on the rest of it. And honestly, that worked out a whole lot better. Next time, maybe if I do this, I'll just do the black Plastidip stuff, and then I'll do the a flat black acrylic, and then I'll just do all the painting and detail it afterwards. Seems to have worked out pretty well. It fits pretty nicely, and I actually also put a couple of little loops in the back here so it could fit a regular like PPE mask in here because it's COVID times, and that's still going to be important. I had made it originally so that you could see the side of your face in here like you do in the movie, but I thought it kind of gave away a little too much. So if I'm going to wear this out, I'm probably going to wear one of the black masks because I think it's just more fitting. It looks better, and yeah, it hides a little bit more, which I kind of figure is the point of a mask. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed this format of the video. If you did, please let me know in the comments section if you liked it. And if you didn't like it or you didn't like anything you saw, please keep it to your goddamn self. Please like, share, and subscribe. I thrive on the validation.